pigeons.
Right, so today's Sunday and it's a little bit windy. We've been out with the kid, with Archie all day at a football competition, so I'm going to let the birds out now for a bit of a fly. Now I've got back, I'm going to try something new. I didn't feed them as much yesterday because they've stopped eating their but they're leaving them some of the big peas and beans. They're not eating them, which I assume is because they've basically been fed too much. So I cut their food down a little bit yesterday, and I'm going to move and I've split them up into young birds and old young birds. So that the old young birds can actually get flying a little bit more, because I feel like they're being held back by the young birds. So I've got them separated into the two sections. First off, we're going to let off the old young birds. I'm not 100% sure I've got them each one in the right section yet, so we'll find out when we let them out, but hopefully they'll be able to fly for a little bit longer. And then I'm going to move their feed. I'm going to change their feed to without maize, depurative or something. I'm interested to see what other people feed theirs when they're training them. I didn't want to cut their feed down because they're going through the moult, so I'm concerned that the amount of stress that they're under, or will be under. So there's still a lot of molting birds in there, but some of them look great, and some of them are obviously still quite heavily into the moult, but the majority of them are looking pretty good now. So I didn't want to cut their feed down too much because I didn't want them to be low on some of the nutrients that they need to regenerate their feathers. But obviously if they're leaving food, it means that they've got plenty, so we'll let them out anyway. Is that Blackfoot? Blackfoot's the one I was trying to find. No, you're not Blackfoot. I'm not sure where Blackfoot is. Where's Blackfoot? Because Blackfoot, he was so named because it was the only one with a black foot, but now I've got more of them with black feet. It's harder to tell, and they're all starting to look the same, other than, you know, you've got Ryan Not Brian, Mush Mush. That pied one there, that's a nice looking one, that stands out. And then White Tip, 86, right, so you're an old one. So I'll let these guys out. I'm just drinking my tea. This is a cup that my wife made for me for Father's Day, and my favourite cup, so I'll stick that up there for now and let these guys out and see where they go. Well, hopefully we won't get a visit by the sparrowhawk today. Who's you? Which one are you then? 6. They don't stand still long enough for me to... 68. I don't go flying with the geese, please. There you go. So some of them just want to get out and fly straight away. There's White Tip. She's gone. You can tell because she's missing loads of tail feathers. She don't hang about. So let's get straight out there. Which is good because it's only 2 or 3 weeks after she was attacked by that hawk, so it's good to see her out and flying so quickly. So because I've now separated the two sections, you'll see that I've reintroduced the water butt there and put it on bricks. I am going to change that for the same style. In fact, I might change both styles really. I'm still not happy with them. They still get stuff in them. So we should in here have at least 8 young birds. The 8 from this week, and then some of the youngest from previous, but I think I may have accidentally got some of the older young birds in here. They're probably the ones that are trying to get through into the next section, so I need to sort through them, but I'll give them a proper sort through when I give them their injections and put their phone number rings on, so it doesn't matter if I don't get it done right now. But all of the birds in here were the ones that didn't come out to fly yesterday. I let them out last night, which is not what you're meant to do. You're not generally meant to fly them on a Saturday, but there weren't very many birds out, and oh, it's coming to land already, that one. It's literally been out for a few minutes. Why have you come down already? Is that white? It's not white tip, is it? That's literally 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes of flying. It looks like it's blowing out its arse already, so they should really be flying longer than that. That's Ryan, not Brian, and Mush Mush. They always generally stick together, so. What else have we got? You all ready to go? Go on then. So that one on the loft must be one of the younger birds that's got into the older bird. When I say older birds, I mean old young birds. I haven't actually got any old birds or yearlings yet. So we've got the youngest ones. I think they're about ready for coming out and having a look around. And the older ones are all going to start going out, and they'll start loft flying now when they group together. A bit slow getting out today. Well, we've got the first bunch have taken off, and they've gone. Oh, what's we got up there? So we've got a buzzard, I think. Or something up there. That's probably why the last lot have just taken off. Is that a buzzard or a kite? I think it's a buzzard. That won't bother us. But the first flock, so we've got two flocks up there. There's one. They've just taken off just now. But there's another flock of about 5 or 6, and they've gone. They want to go for a good fly, I think, so they went quite high quite quickly. And then there's just a few more still on the loft there. They're not ready to go yet. I got a little bit of footage of them just going over there, and now they've cleared off, so that's good. So that's, what day is it today? It's Tuesday, so I think we're 3 days into they're off breed and wean now. I've put them onto without maize, I did purative, I think it was called, and then just dropped their food a little bit because they were panting a lot yesterday and they came down quite quickly. Okay, so I think that's them there. I think that's the first batch. And they're going some luck with Ryan, not Brian, in them. You can tell the white one. And then there's another batch just there. Look, that's the second one. Now they'll merge and they'll stick together. There we go. They'll probably stay together now. But hopefully they'll keep flying at a decent height and a decent distance, because the problem I've had with them is just they're not been getting any flight time for starters, and or going any further. They've been really close, sticking close to the loft, like I don't know, within 50, 60 meters, something like that. And then there's a few of them out of that bunch that were flying yesterday that just landed on the roof, and they just look like they're out of breath, so they could have been quite young. I know that one with the pink band on its leg here. This is one of the first. This is one of the first birds we got from Dave. So they're not super young, but they aren't the oldest young birds. So they were flying yesterday, and they can trap, which is good. They know where they are, which is good, but they're just not going very far or for very long. Here we are. This is what they tend to do. They just sort of stick around the loft now. It's gone to join them, and I prefer they just go a little bit further and a little bit higher, and just burn some energy and get fit. They've only been flying about 10 minutes. The first bunch, and the second bunch about 5. You guys, let's get you flying. There's the youngest young birds. Come on then, you lot. There's no excuse for you lot being in here. Come on. I'll give these, I think I'll give these V perches a scrape down, get them out and give them a scrape. Go on. Come on. And you two. Go on. That way. And you. That way. Go on then. Go on. They'll be straight back in, no doubt. This is the glamorous side of the job.